We're back. Hey, everybody. It's been such a busy news day that we decided to do this again today. So welcome back to everybody who is joining us again. We want to talk about RFK's disastrous Senate hearings. I'm glad we didn't do this live, Michelle, yesterday because I was supposed to be on MSNBC and I wasn't feeling so well, as you know.
Yeah.
I was a little under the weather, but I kind of made my way over to 30 Rock to do MSNBC, and I'm sitting there and the hearings start. And I was supposed to talk about something totally unrelated. And they're like, oh, we're going to wait to bring you on. And finally it became apparent to me that it was such good television.
Oh, it was
so riveting that I'm like watching it. And literally I was like, let's blow out my segment. It wasn't my decision, but they were like, should we blow out the segments? Should we stay with this? And I was like, blow out my segment because nothing I'm going to say is as fascinating as this.
No.
So I sat there with Lisa Rubin, who I don't know if you know, but she's
so smart.
She's the legal analyst for MSNBC. She's the best. She's the sweetest, kindest, nicest woman in real life. So we sat there because we were supposed to go on together and we're kind of chit-chatting and watching this together. And we were like, our jaws on the floor.
It was unbelievable.
Amazing.
Good TV, like in the way that, it was riveting, like you said. Awful for America, awful for the world, awful for all of our health. But it was like, the thing that got me about it the most was that this is the same Senate panel, right, that voted to confirm his initial hearing to go on to the Senate vote to confirm him as HHS secretary. And, obviously all the Democrats were aligned with like, this guy's dangerous. This guy's a whack job. Oh my God. But the Republicans were so afraid of Donald Trump, of the wrath of MAGA, that they voted to confirm him, including Cassidy, who is a doctor. He is a doctor. And isn't there another doctor? I feel like there's two doctors.
I think there's one from somewhere down south. Yeah.
And it was like kind of wild to witness, because I'm like, what did you expect? This man is not like, he's not just like a crazy, like that's just one layer of him. He's crazy, he's wacko, whatever. This other layer of like the lack of accountability that he has had his entire life. He is the son of Robert F. Kennedy, who was assassinated in 1968. He is part of the Kennedy clan, a dynasty, an American political dynasty, extremely wealthy, privileged, former heroin addict.
Not just addict, like a deal. Like, I don't know if he was actually dealing, but
yeah,
he was certainly encouraging, according to his own cousin, Caroline Kennedy.
Right.
He was like encouraging others to participate in the heroin.
And a predator. And a predator.
And a predator admitted,
and his own, again, Caroline, when she did her video.
Yes, but admitted to basically harassing his babysitter, or not his own babysitter, his kid's babysitter.
Again, a lack of accountability, like a lack. It's just, and then he's pumped up on hormones. That's very obvious if you just look at him, because a man of his age does not look like that, does not have that kind of body without some sort, which is like, okay, fine, your body, but like, it's the hypocrisy of him telling everybody what's healthy and what's not healthy when he's, pumping his body full of all this stuff and then telling everybody that they can't take vaccines. I mean, like, it's bananas. And then his first wife found his like sex diary, and it was so awful that
was actually his second wife.
Was the second one? I mean, Jesus.
That was his second wife. Yeah, it's hard to keep
track. The daughter of that marriage, by the way, sitting behind him the entire time. Her name's Kik Kennedy. Kik, I think short for Kathleen. Catherine.
Yeah, Kathleen. She was named after
her aunt, who died in the plane.
RFK Jr.'s aunt.
Okay, so her great aunt.
The original Kik Kennedy died during World War II in a plane crash.
Yes.
Very bad. Yeah.
And so she's sitting behind him the whole time. Like, it was freaking me out. And again, like it just comes into like the Kennedy family is notoriously, members of the Democratic establishment, blah, blah, blah. But like at the end of the day, when it comes down to these American dynasties, these aristocrats, in American culture and life. They have their values, they have their political opinions, but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is protecting that place in society, the wealth, and the intergenerational influence. Those things come before everything else. And part of that is like why you don't see the Kennedys speaking out about it, except for like a couple of them. And then, you know, and this is like goes for all the families that kind of have this. I mean, watch Succession. I mean, the kids in Succession, right? If you've watched the TV show on HBO, there's like one who like is a Democratic consultant. She goes and works for Hillary or whatever. And then there's the other one who's like a neo-Nazi. But at the end of the day, they all come together because they have to protect their own intergenerational wealth. And that's what this is about. None of these people have any real values. I mean, I just really don't think that they do.
And I see people in the chat talking about Jack Schlossberg running for Jerry Nadler's seat. So I'm going to say this, and Michelle, I think you and I disagree on this. We're both from Jerry Nadler's district. Jerry Nadler is our congressman, both Michelle and I. Although we live, this congressional district is
slightly different now. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very big. It includes everything from the far Upper West Side of Manhattan all the way downtown.
It's like all of Central Park to the right and like a little south.
Yeah. So you know, it's big, and I guess Jack Schlossberg lives somewhere in the district. I don't know exactly where he lives. Caroline Kennedy lives on the east side. I don't know where he lives. But you know, I don't know what Jack Schlossberg has actually done in his life other than
I can tell you
become a troll, right? He's like a Twitter troll. I don't know if he's actually done much. Like maybe he went to law school. I think he did. But like, but so what? Like, what's he done with his life? And I think we already have a Twitter troll in the White House. I don't know that we necessarily need an equivalent. I don't mind somebody trolling people well on Twitter who actually is qualified to serve in the House. But the only reason you know who Jack Schlossberg is because he's a Kennedy.
Well, yes.
And so I don't like that. And I think there are people who are probably more qualified than he is to be in the House who are not Kennedys. And I'm going to say this, I've never actually talked about this, but I grew up, I did not grow up rich, but I had a scholarship to a private school where there were a lot of very affluent people. And one of them had a house in the Hamptons and was very good friends with somebody who was a Kennedy and was from a different branch of the Kennedy family than either RFK Jr. or Jack Schlossberg. So I don't want to say that it's either of those branches, but one of the branches. And so I spent a lot of time at her house and around that family. And I will tell you, not normal. And not normal because of the wealth, not normal because the Kennedys are not, don't like it. Like just not somebody you could relate to. And the reality of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to me is he was saddled with the name of a man who has been elevated to sainthood. Right? Like he's not Jack Kennedy. He's not, well, Jack Kennedy would have also been bad, but he's not like, I don't know, Sam Kennedy. He's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Of all of his brothers, he was the one who was given that name. He looks like his dad.
Oh yeah.
He was a teenager when his dad died. My understanding is he had a very tough relationship with Ethel, his mother. He then goes to Harvard, I'm sure not because he did well in the SATs and did well in school, but because he's a Kennedy, where he proceeds to do lots of heroin, engage in really shitty behavior, but still fails up, graduates. I believe he went to law school.
He did. He went to the University of Virginia Law School with Senator Whitehouse, and Senator Whitehouse was roommates with Michael Kennedy.
Right. And I'm sure Senator Whitehouse would say that Bobby Kennedy did not exert himself too much in law school, but nevertheless went to UVA Law School, which is an excellent law school.
And Julie, I just want to interrupt for just one moment because we have someone backstage.
Oh, yes. Bring him in.
Joining us. Here we go.
Oh, it's our friend Frederick Pogue. Hello.
Hello. Am I in? Like, what's going on?
Yes, we're here. Hello. Welcome.
Hello. We're trashing the Kennedys right now, or I am. Michelle is
like the whole Kennedys, or just Junior?
I'm just saying I'm not feeling it with the whole like Kennedy shit.
Well, first of all, let's introduce Frederick. Frederick, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself because
We're not on
think we've
Substack, Frederick. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. This is our main universe.
YouTube. Okay, my name is
Yeah.
Frederick Pogue. I am also on YouTube under Frederick Pogue. I'm also on Substack, Missives from Middle-Aged Man, and I've had the pleasure with being with these two amazing women talking all kinds of smack on various political topics. And when they said, we're going to talk trash about RFK Jr., I was like, let's do it. I will move things around for this. Like, I love it.
So we love Frederick because Frederick is like the guy who's going to give us the guy perspective on this.
Yep.
So Frederick, here's my 2-second psychoanalysis of Bobby Kennedy Jr., which I am completely unqualified to give by virtue of the fact that I never even took a Psych 101 class in college. But I'm going to do it anyway because what the hell? It's our show. We could do whatever we want. So my thing is the guy was saddled with a really famous guy's name. When his father died, he became basically a saint. His uncle was already a saint after being elevated to the sainthood after being shot in the whole Camelot myth. His other uncle was a United States senator who, after going through some incredibly difficult personal issues, died when he finally died, having been probably the most accomplished United States senator, one of the most accomplished United States senators in the last century and earlier this century. So, there's a lot to live up to there. And Bobby decided to go the other way. Bobby decided to be a heroin addict. Bobby decided to, become a sex fanatic. They all are, but still.
I was going to say the other way.
Another level.
I don't know about another level. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, he kind of pursued the Kennedy pastime of hitting on women inappropriately and every chance he had. And I think just the reason, my understanding, and I remember this so well, JFK Jr., when he ran a very famous column about his cousins, the RFK cousins, basically saying that they're a bunch of fuck ups. And that's why nobody really wanted to be around. Like his mother kind of kept him and his sister away from the RFK Jr. side of the family.
Well, and JFK Jr. actually left money to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in his will when he passed away. Oh,
I didn't know that.
I don't know how much, but I was watching the thing on CNN about JFK Jr. that has been airing, and I learned about that.
So, I mean, the thing is, like, this guy's gotten everywhere because he's a Kennedy, and like the rest of that family, he just assumes that that's the way it is, that they have paid a price for being Kennedys, that they have sacrificed a lot for this country, and therefore this country and its people should sacrifice a lot for them and excuse their bullshit.
Yep.
And I'm here to say that a lot of people have gone through shit. A lot of people have had people die. A lot of people have had people be unhealthy and go through personal challenges, and nobody's owed anything. And as Rose Kennedy was so fond of saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I think her grandson, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., forgot about that because he just thinks, to whom much is given, much is owed.
Yeah.
And so I guess my attitude about what I saw yesterday was a petulant child who was either a pathological liar or is so fucked up, sorry, Dad, in the head.
Both.
That he didn't remember from one moment to the next what he was saying, because if you said, hey, Senator Kennedy, or sorry, not Senator, Secretary Kennedy, you said 20 minutes ago that the earth is flat. Why did you say that? His answer was, I didn't say that. And they're like, do we need to go to the videotape? You said it. No, I didn't. And of course, nobody could pull up the videotape that quickly because that's just not how it works. So was he lying? I'll pose the same question to both of you. Was he lying, or is the brainworm so huge that he can't remember what he's saying from one moment to the next?
Well, I think both, but first I just do want to play a couple clips. Everything Rosie's here with us often, brings up a great point that he was snoring into the mic. Now, I don't know, Frederick, if you were watching this live, I was watching this live, and I'm hearing, because I got 2 speakers in my bedroom.
Was it snoring, or was that frog in his throat trying to escape?
Well, right.
And I think it's the brainworm. The brainworm was trying to get out.
I heard this like deep breathing, and I was like looking around. I didn't know where it was coming from. I thought my cat was snoring, so I had to mute the TV. I turned it off, and I'm looking around. I'm like, what? So hold on. This is
from the news media and from any other source.
There's John Boone.
Obviously, the easiest thing for our Democratic colleagues to do is to scare people because that is a powerful emotion, no matter what the facts may.
Sweet Jesus.
That was like a Darth Vader, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It continues on. I mean, it
Rosie,
I'm-
every trigger warning. You're right.
I know, truly. It continues on. I'm trying to do this thing where I'm now streaming stuff from my other laptop so that I don't have to
Can you imagine him making like small talk to you at a party at like a mixer, and just like, you know, that voice, and then coupled with the pauses as he's listening to you, breathing in your ear, you know, like how horrible that would be.
Oops.
I mean,
Is important in drug advertisement. I know that President Trump, Vice President Vance, and you are all supportive of this effort. When can I expect action from this
That is some
administration
bronchial sludge. That's what
requiring
that
drug
is.
companies
My
to
God.
publish the price of drugs?
You know,
And
that septum, that ain't deviated. That septum is hanging on by like 2 slivers of tendons just
well,
left
I hate to say
from all
this.
from all the cut cocaine.
That's what I'm going to say, right?
oh,
If
there's no membrane left up there.
you
Nothing.
do a certain amount of coke, this is all gone. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's
next. You know what I mean? Like all those. And I wanted to give a shout out to Aaron Rupar. If you don't know him, if you're not on Twitter and stuff, like Aaron
Aaron's
Rupar, like he's got a Substack. He's got this thing. I think it's called Public Notice. He clips stuff all day long of like these big news events, and he works his ass off. And I've connected with him a couple times and just thanked him for what he does. And like, and his commentary is funny. Like, listen to this. If you can stand it, RFK Jr.'s hot mic breathing, make it sound like he's dying. And correct.
you know, like I just
Robert Carr, he doesn't need a phone to make it sound like a dirty phone call. You're right.
no, he doesn't. It's just, I mean, my God, you know, I mean, can you imagine him trying to hit on you? You know,
Ooh, can you imagine what his breath smells like? Because I think about that. It's like,
But that's my point. You know why these people go for him? Because he's a Kennedy.
well, right.
You know,
That's literally the.
I
I
mean,
mean,
like,
John
look-
F. Kennedy Jr. was like, he's
he already, I mean, he already talks like you have a bad connection over a cell phone. You know, where it's just, you got to the party.
I mean,
what? You know,
Cheryl Hines' pretend husband, Larry David, is such a step up from this that I don't know what she's thinking. But I just don't get. Like, I'll ask you guys the same question I just asked Andy Ostroy a few minutes ago on my live with him on Substack, which is like, if you're Trump, and the thing that you have gotten the most credit for, and rightly so, is Operation Warp Speed, is the COVID vaccine. And now you've got this jamoke basically saying that he doesn't like the COVID vaccine, or he won't commit to saying the COVID vaccine saved more lives than it harmed, which is basically what he said yesterday. Like, why are you keeping him around? Because you don't need him anymore. I get why he made the commitment to make him secretary in order to get his supporters to come vote for him in the general.
Right.
But now it's over. So why is he keeping him around?
I'll kind of wrap this up into your other question. You know, like does Bobby Kennedy, like is RFK Jr. is it his brain worm or what is it? Because I was actually talking with a buddy of mine about this today or this morning. I think what it is because our social media landscape is so fractured and it's so bitey. You can just say like whatever, and it could be the craziest thing in the world. Like that's how the ivermectin thing got out there.
Right.
That's how all this stuff gets out there, and it doesn't matter because they're already moving on to something else, right? So you're not gonna. It's not like 40 years ago. This quote appeared in the Washington Post, and it follows you around, right? It's not Howard Dean with the yaw, and that's like forever. You're done,
so wholesome. Right? What a time.
Yeah, but so like he said all this insane stuff because either it's a multiple things. He's nuts, he's brain addled, whatever, and presumably, and they don't suffer a consequence with it. That's why Joe Rogan can say half the dumb stuff he does.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're going into the next thing. And so like why Trump keeps him around Trump doesn't care about warp speed, right? Like he only pulls it out when it's just convenient or it's a throwaway. It doesn't
Well,
mean
and
anything to him because
and if
honestly,
he
it's
thinks he's
saved
going to
people's
get an
lives.
award,
Yeah, it saved people's lives. He doesn't care about that. He trashed Fauci and everybody else. He's like, he doesn't care.
that
Like,
poor man.
like he
Yeah.
cares about recognition for the moment, and his base could care less about warp speed.
Mhm.
They don't care. So RFK Jr.'s in there because it's somebody, because if he actually put in somebody competent, they might start contradicting some of the moves he's making. They might go rogue, whereas RFK Jr. is so mired in controversy himself. There's no way RFK Jr. is breaking orbit. Trump knows RFK owes his position to Trump.
Mhm.
Period. And he's useful in that way. There's somebody in that seat that I could care less about that's not going to turn on me. It's the same thing why Egg Seth is, in the broy seat. And my hot take is with him and Rubio, I'll just say it now because I'm gonna do something about it, or I've got something cooking. I think there's a chance we might be going into Venezuela.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We might be going. Just look for it because it's because these idiots are 30 years behind, and they'll go, what we need is a good war, and that'll get everybody on our side again.
That'll distract from Epstein. I said that from day one. They're gonna have a wag the dog situation if that movie from the 90s.
Which is crazy. Here's the thing: is this thing distracts with it. So Venezuela is going to distract us from Epstein, but then he's using Epstein this morning on Truth Social to distract us from the jobs report. I'm like, I got whiplash over here. What the hell's going on?
That's the point. He wants you to have whiplash because if you're constantly following, the bouncing ball and all the distraction, because that's his signature move is like, this is the BS you try to bring to his. No, look at this BS over here. No, look at over there. No, look at this. And so, but the problem is the Epstein thing is not going to go away.
No.
And the jobs report is the jobs and the economy is absolutely not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And so the other thing he doesn't really understand about the MAGA base is there's a good portion of that base that is isolationist.
Yes.
They're not going to rah an invasion in Venezuela. They're not going to do it. They are not they're not going to be like, oh yeah, go get them, Trump. There's going to be some that are just diehard cultists, but there's going to be others that are it's going to peel off. It's going to fracture even more of a section of. So he lied about Epstein, and now we're invading Venezuela because why?
Mm-hmm.
The why is you see your kids who are dying from fentanyl, you see your kids who are dying from drugs. We got to stop that, and that's happening in Venezuela.
Oh yeah, they'll do that.
Now,
the
problem is going to be
not legal. None of that's legal. And
that. Let's be very clear. That's not where the fentanyl is coming from, and it's not going to stop it whatsoever. And they hate Maduro. And by the way, Maduro from Venezuela is a reprehensible human being. But if we're going to go after people who are reprehensible human beings, I got a list that's a lot longer than Maduro.
Oh, here's how I would tell Democrats to argue against it is if we were to invade Venezuela, it's like, has your grocery bill come down? Is your electric bill coming down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, we're at war. It's like, it's Venezuela. So anyway,
right.
Well,
why?
It's like, it's Venezuela. I don't know why we're there. Fentanyl. Oh, okay.
Does he know where Venezuela is on a map, except for somewhere down there? Do you know what I'm saying? He doesn't know where anything is. And Julie and I were talking a little bit ago.
Find the nearest McDonald's. He's got the app for that. He knows where to go.
Favorite restaurant. Julie and I were talking about this a little bit ago. We were on the phone, and we're hoping that Sunday we're going to have a retired Lieutenant Colonel, Marine Corps JAG on to talk to us about the legality of this attack on the Venezuelan ship And, if there's precedent for that, if the thing that Pete Hegseth said to the press the other day, he said, we have absolute authority to do this. That is completely untrue. So we're hoping to have her on Sunday to talk about that. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and you'll get the notification about when we're going to do that. But to go back to like the hoaxing and the distracting and stuff. So from this hearing, right, Senator Cantwell actually asked him about the Epstein thing, because I think, in the terms of what's real, what's not, because it's all fun and games. Let me just play this really quick, this exchange.
Women on the steps of the Capitol.
The women who were talking about Epstein, do you think they were a hoax yesterday?
Do I think they were
Do you think they were perpetrating a hoax yesterday?
perpetuating a hoax?
Yeah.
I have no idea what they were saying. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
You're hearing about the women on the Capitol steps saying that they believe that the Epstein information should be made public. That's the first you're hearing about it. What I'm saying is you are perpetrating hoaxes. You, as this Secretary of Health, so you're undermining the whole healthcare delivery system, and you keep trying to point to chronic disease, but you're not putting solutions on the table to cover more Americans, and you're taking away the science and technology that has made us the leader that has saved, according to the first Trump administration Surgeon General, millions of lives, and you don't want to keep that going. So no, I don't support your continued efforts at Secretary, and I definitely think that our colleagues need to rally around science. If you want the Northwest to continue to lead on all innovation and all healthy people, okay, we'll do that. But it's a sad statement for the rest of America and America's leadership on technology. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Get him.
Thank you, Senator Warner.
Get him.
Amazing.
Get him.
Amazing. That was great. The Democrats did a great job yesterday.
Oh yeah, they did. Now here's an interesting thing you could ask your JAG guy, right? So I had a friend.
My girl.
Gal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed. It's my fault. A little bit of that toxic masculinity is still down there. We're working through it. But so I have a friend that used to work in interdiction for DOD, right? And one of the things that they do for the U.S. Navy is they also have a Coast Guard captain on the ship, right? And so when you're in kind of waters like that, because if it's a naval vessel, right, and you fire on another nation in international waters, and it's an act of war. However, there's this little dance we do as our country is when you're getting ready to fire on somebody like that, Coast Guard comes in. We're talking about drug traffickers, right? Maybe not necessarily this. Coast Guard comes in, they take over the ship, and suddenly it's a Coast Guard vessel now. And that, because it falls under the Department of Transportation, there's different guidelines, there's different things. It's not an act of war. So, but to Pete Hegseth's point, no, he's an idiot, he's a moron. We don't have the authority to do that.
Yeah.
I doubt this guy knows anything about international maritime law or
No.
I probably know more about that than he does, and I don't know a whole lot, So,
well, during his hearing, he was talking about the JAGs and saying jag-offs. He doesn't have any sort of respect or regard for the law or for.
Wait a second. He's calling JAGs jag-offs?
Yeah. Remember they asked, he's like, can you tell me what a jag-off is? And he was like, oh, it's a JAG officer. But the joke was that it sounded like jack-off, That was the whole thing. Jag-off.
There's a character. I don't know if you guys have seen Generation Kill on HBO. Mm-hmm. It was written by David Simon, who did The Wire and other shows for HBO. Mm-hmm. It was about the invasion of Iraq, right? The 03 invasion. And there's a character in there, and he's this jackass officer. Other Marines refer to him as Captain America, right? Mm-hmm. Horrible kind of guy, just total dipshit. That's who Pete Hegseth reminds me of.
Yeah.
He's freaking Captain America from Generation Kill. Is this guy where it's just, it's all this posturing, and bravado. And, it's like, just none of this is actual military strategy or military leadership or anything that is geared towards mission accomplishment, personnel surviving combat.
Right.
None of that. Right? He's a joke.
Right.
It's offensive to me as a veteran.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you tell our audience a little bit about your background and your?
So I was a Marine reservist in the infantry. I got injured in a training accident. I'm a disabled veteran. I've applied to the VA. My sister was a West Pointer. My dad was in the Navy back in the early '60s. He was a hurricane hunter, where they, when they fly planes into hurricanes, like to take readings. That was my dad. He did that job, and so then he went into the National Weather Service. So Pete Hegseth, like, that's the thing that kills me is like Tim Walz has way more pedigree to run the Department of Defense than Pete Hegseth. And I'll say it now, Tim Walz is not qualified to run the Department of Defense.
Right.
And he's got way more of a pedigree. Retired from, the National Guard or the U.S. Army Reserves.
Right.
Served on the Veterans Committee, advocate for veterans, probably knows more about that stuff. And he doesn't know enough to run the Department of Defense because it is the most difficult department to run. Right. And so the fact that you elevated this weekend drunk pretty boy that couldn't lead, like, I wouldn't trust him to lead a group of JROTC cadets to the freaking bathroom.
No, and Julie, Pete Hegseth. You worked with him.
I know Pete Hegseth well. I used to work with him. I used to hang out with him, not like that, but once in a while we go get drinks together, I would leave. He would continue drinking.
Yeah, I was like, we'd have drinks together, and then he would have more drinks.
The thing about Pete, and I haven't seen Pete in a long time. I haven't seen Pete since I left Fox, so that was 2017. So do the math, 8 years ago, I guess. So, a lot has happened to both Pete and me in those last 8 years. But the Pete that I knew one-on-one is a really nice guy.
I'm sure.
Like a really nice guy. The problem with Pete is that he has no limits. And, when you have no limits, you will do whatever it takes. And, the Pete that I knew was not a crazy evangelical.
Well, he's a white Christian nationalist, extremist, misogynist. And he doesn't care. He has no boundaries. There is no amount that he won't go for himself and for dear leader Donald Trump. And that's why they keep trying to bring the Nobel Peace Prize into all this. And I'm like, all Donald Trump seems to care about is getting a Nobel Prize in something. I'm like, you're not going to get it in being a smart person. So he's like, I'm going to get it in peace deals. I've ended 7 wars. Okay, name those wars. No one's asked him that. I don't know why, because I'm sure that he wouldn't be able to name all 7. And I don't know how you're going to get a peace prize now when you're bombing drug cartel ships from Venezuela. So now he's like, okay, well, maybe I can get a Nobel prize for Operation Warp Speed. And so now and this is again, it's all the people around him just trying to fluff him up about this to get what they need. And just to bring it back to the hearing yesterday, I just want to play this clip from Senator Cassidy, who is a doctor, and has this pretty brilliant exchange with RFK Jr. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty something. Hold on, hit play.
I said yesterday, I believe it, that President Trump deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed. If he had been President Obama, he would have gotten it. But because of Operation Warp Speed, forcing the federal government to come to a vaccine development within 10 months when others said it couldn't be done, we saved millions of lives globally, trillions of dollars. We reopened economies, an incredible accomplishment. Mr. Secretary, do you agree with me that the president deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed?
Yeah, absolutely, Senator.
So let me ask you, but you just told Senator Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
Wait,
that was a statement.
I did not say that.
Okay, then let me ask, because you also...
Senator, I just want to make clear, I did not say that.
We'll check the record. That's a question of fact. You also said that you were also, as lead attorney for the Children's Health Defense, you engaged in multiple lawsuits attempting to restrict access to the COVID vaccine. Again, it surprises me that you think so highly of Operation Warp Speed when, as an attorney, you attempted to restrict access. But let me ask.
I'm happy to explain why.
I have.
Yeah, no.
You think him and his wife sleep in the same room? There's no way. Like, I mean, like, can you imagine him laying on his back?
Well,
Like,
he's probably got the, what's it called, machine.
CPAP.
Sleep apnea.
CPAP machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CPAP.
no, even a CPAP machine couldn't like, you know, like it couldn't do that. I mean, can you imagine that? Like,
No.
you know, just like in there, like they sleep in separate rooms. They have to.
From all the reasons. No.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's like that leathery skin emanating from whatever he uses.
I saw a tweet the other
to-
day that said that RFK Jr. looks like someone boiled Mel Gibson, and I can't unsee that. I cannot unsee it.
Oh my God. Brilliant. In every way, by the way. Mel
know,
Gibson,
it's because they're the same.
also not exactly the paragon of virtue.
Like, I mean, because, you know, it's like, I mean, every guy's done this. You know, you ladies are married. It's like the 3 a.m., you know, sidle up. You know, it's like when you're, and it's like she's got to be like, there's no way I'm putting up with that. I'm sleeping in a separate
Frederick,
room.
I'm proud of you for being a single guy and sticking around till 3 a.m. and not just leaving.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, it's, I mean, I'm a gentleman first and foremost.
Okay, ladies, take note.
I'm a gentleman first and foremost.
My larger question, I guess, is since we're talking about the Heinz Kennedy marriage, and I
I need her to give me a ride home in the morning.
Oh God,
to work,
of
so,
course.
you know.
Since we're talking about the Heinz Kennedy marriage, which I typically don't want to do because it's not really my business, but I will just say this hypothetically, Michelle Kinney.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden your husband, after years of knowing him, said that he is going to go work for the Trump administration.
Nope. Done.
Really?
Done.
Pronounced divorce?
Yep.
Really?
Like it just.
That's it? After all these years, bye-bye?
I mean, why would you be surprised, Julie? You won't even live in the mayor's house.
Because I wasn't in love with the candidate who was running for mayor. That's a different story.
Yeah, like that was your deal breaker. You're like, I want to live in that house. It's like,
I mean, here's the thing, and I want to just like say this, that in our vows, when I got married, I actually, like, jokingly but also seriously, thanked my husband for being a Democrat, because had he not been, this wouldn't be happening. And that was in 2015, right? So just a few months after Donald Trump had announced that he was going to run. And so, you know, if my husband came forward and said, I'm going to go work for the Trump administration, a few things would be going through my mind. One would be like, I'm sorry, what? Second would be like, oh, wow, at some point, I must not have noticed that our worldview and value system have completely broken apart. Like, we are not compatible anymore. And there's no way that it would be like my husband joining like the Nazi party. Like, I equate it to that. Like, that's how bad it is in my mind.
yeah. Go ahead and say it, Julie.
I'm really having a moral dilemma here. I don't know. I mean, I love my husband.
I love my husband. He's a good person.
I know.
So, you know, but
I guess maybe I'd start off by saying fine, but I'm not going to go with you. Like, you do your thing, I'm going to do mine. But then, like, what kind of guy am I married to after? Like what happened to him?
this is right. This is what I'm saying.
Did the brain worm like jump into his
what
head?
end? To what end? I'd rather be alone.
Wow.
I also don't have kids, so it's a little easier, but like,
Yeah, there's that.
you know, to what end?
Well, actually, kids make it a better reason to leave because you don't want that infecting.
Well,
your
that
kids.
too. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
To what
like,
end?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Like, I don't know how that ever repairs.
All I can say is, like, you can't, even from the male's perspective, like, you can't date extremists. Like,
No.
like you can't. I would never date a MAGA chick. Like,
Interesting. Would you date a Republican?
Who's still a Republican, Julie?
Yeah. Define.
Well, you know, it's a good question because back in my single days, I dated Republicans. Like, I dated people who like voted for Bush. I never dated them seriously, but I did. Like, it wasn't a disqualifier. But
it depends on what you mean by it. Depends on what you mean by Republican, because like, you know,
Like Michael Steele?
no,
well, he's not a Republican anymore.
Isn't he? I thought he still was.
No, I think he's a Democrat now.
No,
I
think
thought
it's
no.
still
Last I heard
registered
is he didn't leave
Republican.
the party. He still hasn't left the party.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my question is, okay, let me phrase it a different way. Frederick, you meet a girl and you're really into her.
At Butterworth's. Sorry,
and she's,
keep going.
she's fantastic.
Indeed.
And she's great. And you go out on like 3 or 4 dates with her and she's just awesome. And you really are like seeing a future with her. And then she just happens to drop like, you don't talk politics because like who talks politics in the first few dates? Well, I actually used to, but assuming you don't do that. And then all of a sudden she drops that she's like, oh yeah. And so also I was really unhappy about the price of eggs last year. So I voted for Donald Trump just to see how it was going to go. Deal breaker?
I mean, if she just... So listen, okay, first of all, like,
What about an anti-vax?
we got to change. See, you front loaded it with all this other stuff. You know, it's like seeing a future with her and all that other stuff.
Yeah, she's great. She's amazing.
How would you get that far without knowing who she voted for? That is like a first date question.
I don't know. Like, it's different. No, I agree with her.
I don't
like,
know. That's just me, though.
Like women, yes, but like men, like we might wait for that because. But here's the problem with me, right? Is I learned that, especially if you voted for him the second time. I could see it in 2016, right?
Or the third time.
Third time. Okay, third time. There we
Third
go.
time.
My fault. Yeah, third time. So my daddy had a saying. He said, you know, when he's talking about working a bad job and if they fire you, he says, you know what? I was looking for a job when I found this one.
Yeah.
I can go back to looking. So I would just be like, I was looking for a woman when I found her. So,
I don't know what happened to Michelle. I think Michelle was so outraged by this line of questioning that she decided to yell on us.
Like, I'm done. No, but I mean, for me, it's like, I mean, look, that'd be.
I have no idea what just happened. Sorry, keep going.
No, that would be a hard. Like, man, that would be hard because it's like, you know, if she said it, it depends how she said it, right? If she said it with tears down her face, you know, and she cut my hands into hers, she said, "I'm so sorry that I did this. I was just the eggs, and I love eggs."
I love eggs so much.
Eggs so much.
It's like
it was Easter.
I support Mom Donnie now. I've been going to meetings.
I've been going to meetings.
Frederick, I'm so sorry. It's like, you know, I mean, I'd be like, baby girl, we're gonna get through this together. You know, I'm here for you.
It's like, and I can fix you. I can fix you.
I can fix you.
And that's the problem. That's the other thing.
You can't fix anybody. You can't.
That's the problem. Is like I can feel that cape unfurling. I can feel that.
big tears in her eyes, and she said,
I'm
"Sir."
a saver.
No, he's like, and he came to you with tears in his eyes. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Like,
All right,
baby girl, we're gonna start you on.
Real
We're gonna start you on Michelle Obama's book, and then we're gonna read Audacity of Hope. And we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it.
Up here, I've got Becoming. I've got Hard Choices. I've got Promise Me.
I'm gonna introduce you to Michelle and Julie, and we're gonna have meetings, and we're gonna get through it together. You know.
All right. Okay. So you give her a second chance.
It depends. It depends if she was repentant. You know, like I mean, I would just.
I'd want to see that Google search history.
Because the problem is it would keep coming back up because we'd be like, you know, I'd make this nice, it would go down a road of peace, right? And I'd make this nice dinner, you know, and it's magical. And it's like, let's run off to Amalfi Coast, baby. Let's spend a week there. And we run off there and we're down there and it's beautiful. And we're watching the sunset. And I'm be like, really, the price of eggs, though, like it would just come up at random times.
You wouldn't be able to let it go. I wouldn't.
That's the problem. You can't let it go. You'd be like,
right?
Really?
Like, how do you unlearn
eggs?
I'd be like, come on now. I mean, you know, we've all done dumb things. Like, we've all done it. You know, I mean, I at one point thought about, becoming a Colorado Rockies fan. And then, you know, my senses came back to
And then you're like, I don't even know anyone who lives in Colorado.
I mean, I live in Colorado. It's me. I'm there. It's like, I'm like, should I go with all the Colorado teams? Maybe I shouldn't be a Nationals fan. Maybe I should be a Colorado Rockies fan. And now they've had their third straight 100 loss season. And I went, oh God. But I thought about it. I didn't do it, you know. And that's the thing is like, you know, you, baby girl, you voted for fascism.
Yes. This is why I said the Nazi party thing. Like, it's real. Like, it's.
I mean, it's like, I love, you know, I love you as a person, but what brought you to fascism, you know?
And what,
yeah,
right, what was the
like,
gateway?
I mean, I'm on the show with you right now. It's like, I pay attention to these certain things. It's like, you know, part of the attraction would be, is, you know, another woman who's maybe not all the way switched on like I am following it, but like in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, and
How
I'm
do
like,
you not know at this point? Right.
Yeah.
And
like,
if they don't know what's
man.
going on, like, how do you even have conversations with them? Like, that's
like
the
going
thing.
to work for the Trump administration. It's like, look, man, if you're down and out and you need the money and you like, oh, listen, I'm over here and, you know, I don't even see the White House and I'm trying to do good. You know, I'm okay. Like, I could see it. It's like, you know, it's like little Timmy needs braces and we got to get little Sally into private school and I got bills. And, you know, it's like, we got to keep Julie in her lifestyle or whatever, you know, it's like, cause she don't want to live in the mayor's mansion some reason, you know, cause she don't like New York for what, you know,
No, I don't want to live in the mayor's mansion because Michelle, you agree with me. This goes back to Frederick's and my early conversation a few episodes back, where we talked about the fact that I was asked out by a mayoral candidate in New York many, many years ago, like 15, 20 years ago. And when I projected, I'll tell you offline.
I'm like, I lived here then. I'm like,
yeah. When I projected the whole future, I was like, wait a second. So if he wins, I'm going to have to move. He did not become mayor, by the way. If he wins, I am going to have to move to Gracie Mansion. And I don't like Gracie Mansion. I don't like where it's located.
You're like, I don't want to live on the east side. The cabs aren't as yellow.
See, Michelle Kinney, without even knowing anything else about the story, understands what I'm saying.
Like, I don't want to live on the east side.
Here's the thing. How you going to let bougie? How you going to let bougie just Trump democracy? That's the problem. You letting bougie Trump democracy.
It's not bougie. It's not even the bougie part. It's not even the bougie part of the Upper East Side. It's all the way in the East River.
Oh God, no! It's like on the It's
no.
You
bougie because you don't want to live there. Real.
No, it's windy out there. It's there's no good restaurants. You got to walk a couple of avenues to get to anything good.
Go in the mayor's mansion. You could have it, you know, DoorDash or something.
I don't like the neighborhood. If they move,
it could be the DoorDash scandal. It's like today the mayor's wife was indicted for ordering a butt ton of DoorDash because apparently there's no good restaurants on the east side.
Well, no, I'd be like Melania. I'd be like, sweetheart, I just can't move to the Gracie Mansion. Like, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here a little bit west of where you are because I just want to.
My boyfriend works at the jewelry store across the street. I can't move to DC.
So and I got a little bit of different perspective on the dating thing. So, and maybe this will help enlighten it a little bit. So I lived in the South for a long time, right? Okay. And I was kind of an odd duck, you know, like, you know, a guy who reads feminism and is, you know, like walked away from Christianity and educated and all that. It's like, I'm not the typical dude that is available for most women to date. And so a lot of women are in that culture, you know, like a lot of women that I would date, they would say, I can't date you because for my husband, we have to be equally yoked in Christ and you're not going to be equally yoked with me. And I was like, no, I'm not. Right. And so, or, you know, I'd date a woman who's like, I'd say, okay, let me look past this. They're very religious. I'll go to church. Like, no problem. You know, I'll make that, you know, compromise. But the patriarchy thing is still there.
Right.
Or they get mad at me and it's like, you're supposed to tell me what to do. And I'm like, but that's not how I roll, right? We're supposed to be like partners. You like, we need to talk this through. Well, you're the man. You're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do this. Like, I don't go by that framework. And so to me, like part of it is like, I voted for Trump is akin to that framework, right? It's just not going to work, you know?
Yeah.
It just won't work. It's like there's a because by the time this man is up on the third run, you know, and he didn't try to hide it too. You know exactly what he's talking about, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
how am I going to introduce you to? Because I've worked with all kinds of folks. I'm friends with all kinds of folks, immigrants especially, because I worked in aviation. How am I going to bring you around these folks?
Yeah. Well, that's right. I mean, and herein lies like the values, right? And it's like how you got there, and like I think about the RFK conversation that we're having, and like and Cheryl Hines, you brought her up. Like, how did she get there? And there is a pipeline to this way of thinking that is beyond religion, that's beyond the patriarchy, but it is evangelical type thinking, and that is the wellness to MAGA pipeline.
Oh yeah,
and that is how RFK Jr. has gotten to a lot of these people. And the fear that was baked in the pandemic, this pandemic that this country went through, in the world, but this country specifically, broke people. It broke people. They didn't know who to and listen, a lot of that's Donald Trump's fault, because he couldn't definitively look into a camera and tell the American people what was going on, what they needed to do to protect themselves and their families. And he wouldn't do it himself, or set an example wearing a mask or doing any of these things. It became like equated with masculinity or wokeness or whatever it was. And instead, there was confusion and there was resentment. And, you had armed like militia people outside the Michigan Capitol, plotting to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. You have people, daily death threats to our health officials. Poor Anthony Fauci. That man spent decades serving this country, keeping us all safe. And now that man can barely go outside. His children are being threatened. I mean, the whole thing. And this is because people have been fed lies, like people like RFK Jr., who literally parachuted into countries. There was a country he parachuted in, like the little rich kid that he is, went around and told all these people, don't take vaccines, don't do this. And a bunch of them died. And like, this is what he's now doing to us. He's parachuting into the federal government and telling people what to do, and people are going to die.
Oh yeah, they're already dying. Look at the measles vaccine. Look at how many people died when he told people, and I think it was American Samoa, that vaccines are bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got blood on his hands. And the fact that Bill Cassidy voted for him knowing that he's got blood on his hands, it's a fucking disgrace. Sorry, Dad. On that note, my friends, I got to go pick up my son from school. I just realized the time.
You have 1 minute?
Can I have 1 minute? Yes.
1 minute. I just want to play, because Elizabeth Warren did such a great job talking to him also just about, and this is like, I think this speaks to the misogyny also that lives inside RFK Jr. And a greater problem within the Trump administration is the disdain for women. And I just want to play this. Hold on.
That she had to resign.
No, I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
So I'm sorry, but this is not what she has said publicly. She has said.
I'm not surprised about that.
So you're saying she's lying?
Yes. Every conversation I had with her, there were witnesses.
Get this straight. This is the same person that less than a month earlier, you stood next to her and described her as unimpeachable. And you had full confidence in her, and that you had full confidence in her scientific credentials. And in a month, she became a liar?
Yeah, you should ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her. Oh, because you thought she was either incompetent, ineligible, or unsuited to the task.
I voted against her because I was afraid she was going to bend the knee to you and Donald Trump. And it looks like she didn't bend the knee, so you fired her. Look, you're...
I mean...
He's such a spoiled, rich,
asshole.
He's a spoiled rich kid, misogynist, predator, and
he's a POS, man.
And he called the women liars yesterday.
He's a rich dude that's never been told no, never been told he's wrong, and how dare a woman actually stand up to him? He's a punk. He's an old man.
Mhm.
He's a punk in an old man's leathery hide. I can't stand this fool.
Mel Gibson boiled down. And really peddling eugenics, which is like part of, I think, a bigger conversation.
Yes,
about
actually,
eugenics.
that's a whole
Racist,
bigger conversation.
Misogynist.
Yeah.
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 All right, Frederick, don't run
Frederick,
into
thank
any
you for
MAGA
being
women
here.
over the weekend. See,
You know,
ask right away. Yes,
I'm going to yoga and a Buddhist temple. I doubt I'll run into
Good
one.
for you.
good
Live
for
it up.
you.
Live it up, Frederick.
That's
So,
awesome. You're living
yeah.
you're living my single life. That's what I used to do. But
Yeah.
not in a Buddhist temple with a young lady named Hillary Thomas, who now everybody knows as
Hilaria Baldwin.
Hilaria
Who doesn't-
Baldwin used to be my
What's the
yoga.
word for cucumber.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't. But everybody, thank you so much for being here. Frederick, thank you for joining us for this very important conversation. If you're joining us for the first time or for the many times, please like and subscribe at the Mayday Network on YouTube. We have not officially launched yet, but we're trying to trickle out, these shows, and we want to talk to people and share our thoughts and listen to your thoughts about what's going on in the country right now. So please stay with us. Like and subscribe so you get those alerts, so you know when we're going live next. And everyone stay safe. TGIF, 4:00. Donald Trump's going to make some sort of announcement. We'll see what that is.
When the market's closed, by the way, don't.
And hit those notification buttons. That'll help you get those alerts.
Yes, hell
Get
yes,
the
hell yes.
Yes,
All right.
and we will see you guys. Well, Michelle and I will see
Yep.
you, and JoJo will see you tomorrow for coffee.
Yep,
and
tomorrow
conversation
morning. That's
at 10
right.
a.m. Eastern.
10
and then
a.m. right
hopefully
here.
we will see you guys for Taco Tuesday on Tuesday, right, Frederick? Hopefully.
Yes, we will. Thank you
Okay.
guys so much for having me on. I appreciate it. Always love talking to you guys.
Bye, everybody. See ya.
Bye, everyone.